Hey guys, my name is Ruxandra and this is UT Journeys, the podcast where we invite ambitious students and hear more about their student life, extracurriculars, and most importantly, how you can enhance your study journey. Today, I am joined by Jasmijn Nijhuis and Bram Udo from HyDriven. Jasmijn is the marketing manager and Bram is the external and finance manager of the student team. And today, we will explore what the day-to-day life of a HyDriven member looks like and what exciting opportunities awaits them. Hi guys, welcome to UT Journeys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you guys present yourselves?
Yes, I'm Bram Udo. I'm external relations and finance manager for HyDriven this year. And I studied the Bachelor of International Business Administration, and I'm now in between my bachelor and my master's, really.
And I'm Jasmijn uit Nijhuis. I also just finished my bachelor in advanced technology, and this year I am the communication and marketing manager of HyDriven.
Thank you guys. Can you tell me what motivated you to get involved in HyDriven?
My friend really was my first point of contact because he was external relations and finance manager last year. And he just, the first half year, he just kept on talking about how amazing fun he was having and how challenging it was and how he thought that it really added to his studies. And as the year progressed, I just started to read more into it and see what it could bring me to do a year as well. And then, at the end, I was very happy to make the choice and apply.
Yeah, and for me, the story is a bit different maybe, because I was asked to do my role as I have my role right now. And I joined the team because I was always thinking about maybe if I want to do a board year or something else in between my studies, because I always wanted to do something between my bachelor and my master. And I think that HyDriven, like a student team, is such a great year to learn so much more and develop your soft skills. And that, I think, is also a very important reason why I joined HyDriven. And it's also because it's a lot of, if you do your studies at the university, you don't do an internship.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of, if you do a student team, you kind of get the feeling of working in a company.
So you do
but on a smaller scale.
Yeah, but you do kind of get the experience of working in your maybe desired department or something.
Yeah, for
definitely,
sure.
Definitely, it's multifaceted. It gives you a lot of things you can learn from it.
And you get to choose a role that you maybe not always get to when you first apply for a job. I don't think that for my first job that I can become a manager. You cannot. Most of the time.
No. There's many. Yeah, we get to work with a lot of other engineers now, and there are different roles within the foundation, the company HyDriven. That are very fun to really get a first touch to.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about your individual roles in HyDriven? And maybe what a typical day looks like for you?
So as a marketing communication manager, I'm responsible for giving of showing the world what HyDriven is. Mm-hmm. So that everyone knows what we are and what we stand for. And my typical day, if I have a Monday, then we first have our weekly meeting with the management team. And afterwards, I look into some events that we're organizing. For example, we're organizing our technology drinks that are coming up and the car reveal. And that are big events that we organize together with our communication team. And after the break, I will have a meeting with my communication team, or on Thursday we will brainstorm about ideas, about how we can, for example, use the social media to show things or do more recruitment events or things like that. And then to finish off the day, I think I also have some partner contact, for example, sending emails and stuff. Yeah, that's also really important.
And as external relations and finance manager, so it's a little bit two roles. As external relations, I'm mostly emailing companies, doing contact, make sure that all the contracts are followed that we have, and also that every year we get new contracts with the same companies, and also do acquisition. So find new companies to support us in mostly our new developments that we have, and I'm also responsible for the finance part of HyDriven. So I do the budget, I do the accounting, and I sign off on all the payments that we make sure that all the bills get paid and that we don't have any problems on the finance front.
That's quite a big responsibility, I can imagine.
It's a very fun and challenging responsibility to have, but I'm not alone in doing all of this. We have a committee of old people that have done it before, and also just general management. We're 5 general management people and 2 chiefs. They really assist in every decision that has to be made financially.
Oh, okay, then that already, like, if you have a team and you as well on your marketing part, then you also already have a lot more support.
Yeah, true.
And you can achieve way better results than if you were doing it by yourself.
Definitely. It's really about collaborating and talking, and I never feel like I am really just making a decision based on my gut feeling. It's really trying to be in the mind of the foundation, and then working from that together with everybody that's on the team.
Nice.
Yeah. I think maybe it's also nice if we tell something about like the structure of our team.
Yeah, sure. I actually wanted to ask you about that. How many people do you currently have in your team, first of all?
Currently it's 33, I think.
33?
33.
Yeah, 32.
Yeah.
32. Let's say 32. But almost 33. And in February, our 33rd is coming along.
32 and a half?
32 and a half. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, please tell me about the structure of your team. So, how you are divided and how you share responsibilities.
Because our team is divided in 2 main departments, our mechanical department and our hydroelectric department. And in these departments, you have sub-teams. And the sub-teams are, like, they have their own projects. For example, you have a vehicle dynamics sub-team, an aerodynamics sub-team, and a drivetrain sub-team in the mechanic department, and some more. And then in the hydroelectric department, you have the hydrogen sub-team and the embedded system sub-team. So you have a lot of different sub-teams that each work on their own main project. They have a main project each year. And next to the departments with their sub-teams, we have the management team, of which 5 people. We are with 5 people, 2 external persons, 1 technical manager, 1 team manager, and then the communication manager. And then in the communication team, we have PR, a video photographer, graphic designer, and an events coordinator. And then there are 2 chiefs, which are responsible for the departments.
Yeah. So the mechanics department has their own manager managing just their needs.
Yeah.
But also very much in collaboration with the chief hydroelectric and the team manager. With the 3 of them, they really do the technical planning and decisions this year.
Okay. And is this division of department and responsibilities very strict, or do people from other departments get a chance to also be involved or at least informed about the activity of the others?
Definitely. There's a lot of collaboration going on. That's why we are working in an office with 32 people, and at one point we had to make rules about how to not scream through the office, but really walk to each other, because there's so much communication going on. There's so much interconnection between the projects that people have. We have 3 meetings rooms in the Future Factory, which are just never empty.
No.
There's so
always
many meetings,
occupied.
always occupied. There's a lot of old team members that come in to help, but also from different sub-teams, because everybody has their idea on how they want the car to work. And actually, when we will go into production, I think the communications team will be also a little bit more hands-on, because there's a lot of things we have to do. And maybe I will actually be hands-on and start screwing bolts and stuff. If they let me near the car.
Near the car.
Yeah, I don't think they
Maybe
trust
not.
me yet. Maybe you shouldn't.
When do you plan to go into production?
The first parts of production start beginning February.
Mm-hmm.
So our chassis, the structure of our car, is being manufactured as of now. And when we get that in our workplace, we can really start working on the other parts of a car. We really build bottom up.
So wait, so you build a car from the start, or you take
Yeah,
a car and modify it?
we really build the car entirely ourselves,
Entirely
new every year. We do take parts from last year's cars, such as the brakes this year will just be reused, and we will use the same fuel cell. But the construction of our car really starts now with the chassis.
I see. Okay. And you seem to be familiar with the process of building the car. Can you share, maybe in your opinion, what's the most challenging part of the process?
The process of building the car. Well, I think we have one guy in our team that's mainly responsible for packaging. So his function is to design everything that it will fit within the structure that we have. And I think that might be one of the most challenging parts of the car, because we don't really have a systems engineer yet. That's a task divided by our technical manager and our chiefs. But really to integrate all those side projects and all those improvements that we want to do this year into our actual car, physically. That's going to be very challenging. Organizing everybody to be able to work on the car and work on the project, that's the biggest challenge in the process of building a car.
For sure. Making sure that every part works together, just like the team is working together.
Nice.
Makes sense. Are you guys preparing for any competitions? And if so, which are those exactly?
We're still deciding.
Yeah, we're still deciding. There's 4 races that have our attention. It's the Formula Future race is the first one that we are looking for, which is a Formula Student race purely based on biogas, and which also makes hydrogen an option there. But Formula Student, we're racing for Formula Student. So there's many Formula Student events throughout Europe, even America, India has a Formula Student race, UK, which is not Europe anymore. And we really look to develop a hydrogen class within Formula Student, because we are the only team, we are pioneering as the first team to build a working Formula Student hydrogen car. And we raced last year in France. So France is really our first race that we did, and also somewhere we are looking forward to going back to. But also Formula Student the Netherlands, of course, and Formula Student Austria are on our radar for now.
That seems so interesting.
Yeah.
It must be very exciting to have like all these races that you could go through, and you have to think about, I don't know, it sounds really exciting.
Definitely, definitely. The decision is coming up. So we are we're really thinking about what's the best plan for HyDriven to go to, and also where we really can develop. Because Austria, for instance, has now a hydrogen rulebook for the first time. So they're really invested in making a hydrogen class happening, which is also why we definitely want to showcase our car there.
Nice. How do you transport your car? I assume you don't just drive it over there. You transport it in a big vehicle, right?
We have a very big trailer.
It would be cool though if you drive the car all the way there.
I think that will not be possible.
I think we need a legal department first within our team.
Unfortunately,
I don't think we need lawyers to.
I can imagine like safety stuff and legal stuff.
No, but we are. Yeah, it's interesting. I cannot say too much, but we are looking into racing our car on some cool tracks as well. But first, we need to build a car before we can really settle on those things.
Okay, let's zoom in a little bit to you guys. You have both been involved in several committee roles over the years, right? Can you share one skill or lesson that maybe for you stood out from this experience?
Making an agenda before a meeting. I think this is the most important thing that I've learned, that before you enter a meeting, you really need to know what you're going to talk about, or the meeting will not be productive. You have brainstorming sessions, of course, which usually come without a real agenda, but only with a target or a goal in mind. But yeah, in all the committees that I've been in, when you had a functional agenda, it just made so much more sense. And everybody knows their responsibility. Everyone knows what to do. You have A-pages, is what we call them, action points. And it's very important that you really write down everything and that you talk about everything and that everybody's on the same page. At the end of a meeting, at the beginning of the meeting, everybody needs to be on the same page. But at the end of the meeting, it's even more important because then you know how to go forward. Because most often you don't meet every hour, so you need to have, for the time in between the meetings, you need to know what you need to do.
Yep. I think for me, the most important thing that I've learned is that you have to sometimes to prioritize things, because sometimes in a committee you have so many things that you have to do. So just making sure that you can do everything and making a planning and then prioritizing things in that planning, because in that way, if you don't maybe have the time for something, then at least the least important thing is not done and not the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So prioritizing is also very important.
Bram, you are, of course, external affair manager as well, along finance. You mentioned about getting to know the world through HyDriven, the company world, more specifically. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this position is because in my studies, in my bachelor, I didn't really talk to companies, didn't really get to know the business climate, how do companies work together, business to business, which, I study it, and you get a lot of information about it, but you don't really live it, and you don't really see what it's like to schedule a meeting in 1 month, and then you have to prepare the meeting and prepare a presentation. And when you go out like an external relations manager and you go to events and you talk to people and you meet people and you listen to their stories, you listen to how they see the business climate, how they see working together, collaborating with companies, and really, every part of being in a company is a little bit represented in HyDriven, especially for my function. So that's why I found it very interesting to really understand more the business climate and understand that if I would be working in a company, how that would look like.
Okay. And also, Jasmijn, you spoke in the introductory form about not being afraid to step out of your comfort zone, which I personally think that is a great message to give out to students, especially at the beginning of their study journey. Could you share a specific example where doing so made a big impact on your life?
I don't have like a big impact moment in my mind right now, but an ongoing thing of stepping out of my comfort zone is within HyDriven as well, because right now as a marketing communication manager, it is quite a busy job that you have to do. You have many things which you are responsible for, and you do that with your team. But for me, it is within my comfort zone to do a lot of things myself, because I was used to it. I did a lot of committees. I have a lot of jobs. So I'm used to doing a lot of things. But what I'm not used to doing is asking for help and asking other people, hey, could you maybe do this right now? It would help me with this. And it will also help them, because, of course, we're all responsible for hitting our targets. And that is something out of my comfort zone that I'm really still learning. And I think just asking for help and stepping out of your comfort zone is a way that you can grow within your studies and within your student life.
Yeah, thank you guys.
When we first started this, she was just working non-stop. It was crazy. We were all like amazed by the amount that she was taking up with her fork and everything. And I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I think now you find more time to do other things as well. I hope, at least, because it was insane. So I'm happy she's learning how to ask for help.
Well, that's very nice that you can actually already see actionable progress on this thing, you know?
Yeah, that's also because, like, as management of the we are sitting at the same table. We are very close to each other. We do fun things together as well to try and lift the mood sometimes, because also we can be in conflict with each other. But you really get to know someone because you're 40 hours. I see my team much more than my girlfriend. It's very strange, but you really get to know each other on almost all the levels, because you're in conflict, you're having fun together. You're working hard, so you really get to see also the progress that people are making, and
you get to know their strengths and weaknesses. So sometimes you have a task and think, oh, but Bram is so good at this. I can just ask Bram to do this, and he will do this in 1 minute and not even think about it, because it's his strength. So utilizing the strength of people in your team helps as well. And you really learn that from each other.
So you become closer, you become more efficient.
Yeah.
You help each other in ways that maybe before you couldn't.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Let's zoom out a little bit and look at the whole HyDriven team. Every team faces challenges, right? What are some obstacles that your team has encountered?
There's one obstacle I immediately think of, because this was at the beginning of the year, and it's been ongoing from last year. We currently drive on a very tiny hydrogen tank. It's 300 grams, which gives us a little bit of hydrogen, but it's made for a drone, actually. It's not made for a car. It worked, but it was not ideal. So we need a bigger hydrogen tank. But do we? It's a very big investment. It's a very big part of redesigning the whole car, because instead of a small tank, you get like a very, very big tank. So you need another placement for it. You need all the other sub-teams. Everybody's project will be aligning with the fact that, hey, this is a target for our speed, this is a target for the size of our hydrogen tank, and because everything is connected. So it was a very, very, very big decision we had to make. Last year's team already thought it through 2 times, and then it failed to go on. So then we said, no, we really cannot implement a new tank now. But yeah, we had an amazing collaboration between the whole team. Everybody got to say their piece. Everybody helped in setting up this document that stated why it is possible, why it's needed as well, and how we are going to organize it. And then we had a couple of very, very conflicting meetings as our management, where there were a lot of standpoints being taken and discussed openly and in a good way, I would say.
There was room for a lot of questions.
Yeah, there was really a lot of things that we needed to discuss before we could really say, yes, we want to do this, or no, we wait another year, and we've decided to do it. So we're going to implement a bigger tank. But this was one of the biggest challenges, at least in the design phase. Early on, we've just started to know each other, and then we had to make this very, very big decision.
Yeah, for sure. Because it has an impact on our car. And not only our car, it also has an impact on the car for next year. And probably the year after as well.
Yeah, you're not just going to use it for 1 year.
No, definitely not. No. You're going to redesign the car into what's the core of the car. And the core is our fuel cell and our hydrogen tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. That's actually a big decision to make.
Yeah, and we were only, I think, 2 months in or something. So
then that must have been a bit very tricky.
It was a fun time to work in HyDriven.
Yeah, it was.
Definitely. Challenging, but fun.
What you said, we also got a lot of advice from the previous members of the team. And that helped with our decision as well.
Yeah. And the new hydrogen tank, I assume you're getting it in collaboration, like with yours.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's my
So
position.
it's in the progress.
It's in progress. Yeah, we have 2 companies that we are currently talking to, seeing whether they can supply us with a tank that would fit all the new regulations and that's big enough for us and can take our speed that we want to achieve. So there's 2 companies, but it's an interesting process in trying to get one, acquire one.
Do you have any event or ceremony or any kind of thing when you finish your car, or like to display it to your sponsors or to your friends and families, or I don't know?
Yeah, for sure. We have our car reveal, and that's in the Wilming Theater in Enschede, and that is like our main showcase of the car. That is the time that we show this is our car and we're gonna drive and race with this car.
Are we allowed to share the date yet?
I think we are.
Oh, okay.
It's the 13th of May.
Oh.
Okay.
It's on a Tuesday in the Wilming Theater. It's in the afternoon. So we are all really excited for it.
Is that a free attendance event?
Yeah,
okay,
it is. So
Is it also for students that want to see our car?
especially for students.
Especially for students.
Very
We're
cool.
gonna make sure to put that into the description of the video as well, of the
Nice.
podcast. Yeah,
Nice.
Very
maybe for those that are interested, I think it would be such a
Definitely.
good experience to see a hydrogen car.
And we
Yeah.
will all be there. So if you have any questions, come up to us. We
Yeah.
are loving to talk about our car and our project. So we
Nice.
will all be open to that.
Yeah. And if people are thinking about joining a student team, they can also ask questions about that.
When do you guys usually recruit new members in the year?
Like starting February until May. Our application deadline is on the 1st of May. And then in May itself, we will have
All the interviews.
interviews.
Yeah, the application process. Because for HyDriven, there is a application process. So there's this. You have first to talk with one of us, or we have like a 3-person committee that will talk to you and ask you why you want to join HyDriven and what your goals and targets are. And then you can get a business case for your respective project, or you can also apply for more sub-teams. So if you say, hey, I would love to work on the hydrogen system, but also the low voltage system is interesting, the high voltage I would love to work on, just apply to all. Then you get a business case, and then we can check if you're cut out of the right wood, if you would say it in the Dutch. I don't know if it's an English saying, actually.
I think it works in
I think
English
it
as well.
I think it works.
Yeah,
I think
it
it works.
works.
It sounds nice.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. You mentioned a couple of times in the introductory form about your giggler.
Yes.
What is your giggler?
Your giggler is my first success story that I can personally say is a success story, and it was an amazing story.
Tell us the story.
Because I'm also doing acquisition, of course. And we attend a lot of events. Also, me and my friend Ivo, the other external manager. And we went to this NVBA-dag. It's the Dutch Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Authority. And they invited us to bring our car and showcase it. And there were a lot of companies and a lot of people speaking. And one of the people speaking was Jörg Giggler. He works for TKI Nieuwgas, and they do a lot of hydrogen as well. They're very interested in hydrogen and in the future of sustainable mobility. And just the energy transition as a whole. And he spoke, and we didn't really meet yet, but he was up on the stage, so he was interesting. And then we went the following Tuesday to the Hydrogen Week exposition in Brussels. So we got in our car the morning, very early, but we drove all the way to Brussels, went to the exposition, and then at one point I see walking almost past me Jörg Giggler. So I said, hey, Jörg, I saw you last Friday talking about hydrogen, and I want to talk to you. 2 weeks later, Jörg Giggler has joined our team of partners. So that's a very, very fun story. And we are very happy to have him on our team now as partner, and to be supported by them in our project, because the project HyDriven obviously needs a lot of support in order to be successful. That's why we have over 80 partners currently.
That is A nice story. I liked it. Wait,
You don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. Wait, when you went to Brussels, did you come back the same day? Like
Yeah,
in the car?
Yeah.
Isn't it a long way?
It
there?
is.
I'm not sure how many
Brussels
hours did you?
Today, it's only 4 hours driving. So
Yeah.
Only 4
we-
hours.
Only
yeah,
4
only 4 hours.
hours.
And
It's fine, it's fine.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It
It's a very
was
nice
worth
exposition.
it.
Yeah, last year they went as well actually, and then they decided to spend the night in Brussels and go out with the team that was going, which was also would have been fun. But we also had a fun time. We went to see the Atomium.
Mhm.
Just it was outside of the exposition,
Yeah.
and we walked there. It was
Nice.
very nice.
Yeah.
And Jörg Gigler, is he like a sponsor to you guys or a partner in the sense like what exactly is his contribution in HyDriven?
Yeah. Jörg Gigler is the representative of TKI Nieuwgas, and they are sponsors now.
They're sponsors now.
Yes. So they helped us with a little bit of the financing for our gearbox that we're designing.
It's
in-house.
so incredible that you can just walk up to someone and be like, I saw you talking about that thing in the exposition and it was so interesting. I want to talk to you, you know?
That's what happened. And
Very cool.
That's was very fun.
It shows how important networking is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can achieve many things with it.
Yeah, I think this is something very beautiful about Dutch culture, actually. Because, for example, the Dutch culture is very low context, you know? So even when someone is technically speaking in a higher rank or in a higher position than you, you can still go up to them and have a casual conversation and say, hey, I'm like really interested in what you do.
It's important to be respectful, of course.
Of course.
It's important that you make the people that you talk to understand within 30 seconds why you are talking to them. I think that's very important. So you have an elevator pitch, of course, but that's the main reason, because they need to be interested in what you have to say within 30 seconds, or they will just dismiss you and say, maybe talk to some of my colleagues and maybe they can work something out with you, and then you never talk to them again. So it's really important that the first touch that you have with them, that it's positive.
Nice, very interesting. Okay, we are approaching the end of my questions for you. If you could sum up your experience with HyDriven in either one sentence or a couple of keywords, what would they be?
I think we can do this one together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, start.
Challenging,
Fun.
exciting,
And you learn a lot. That's not one word, but
We count it as a sentence, you know.
we can count it
that's
as a
the one
sentence.
sentence.
That's
You
the
learn
one,
a lot.
one
You
sentence.
learn a lot while having fun.
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You learn a lot with the challenge, and it is fun.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Nice. Are there any projects or goals that HyDriven is currently working on that you are particularly excited about?
Speed. Yes, we want to go fast.
We
Now, all jokes aside, the project is now in its 4th year, and the main focus before was on actually creating the first hydrogen car in Formula Student, so by Formula Student rules, which we did last year, which was amazing, which was a great success. We didn't expect by far to achieve that success so fast. But now the main focus is on transforming that success into beating our electrical opponents, and that will take a couple of years, honestly. But speed, we try to double our speed at least this year,
Yeah, which is a big step.
which is a very big
It's a
step,
very big
because
step.
it makes that the whole car needs to be redesigned again.
And
Yeah.
maybe the new hydrogen tank will help.
Definitely,
It will
definitely.
help.
Well, the new hydrogen tank will make sure that over the endurance race, which we do a couple of events at these Formula Student races. It's not just racing as a Formula 1 car, but it's also acceleration. It's also a skid pad where you have to do little eights, and it's also an endurance race, which is really a race where hydrogen will, over time, beat electrical cars, battery electrical vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And our hydrogen tank, larger hydrogen tank, means that we can draw more hydrogen from the tank during the endurance race, which means that we can power up our fuel cell even more, which means that we get more electricity, and which means that we go faster. Because we are a fuel cell electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Maybe if anyone is interested what a fuel cell electric vehicle is, you can always talk to us and we will gladly explain.
At the event on May 13th.
At an event, or just look at www.hydriven.nl and then you can get in contact with almost everybody on our team because we love to talk about what we do and why we do it.
Nice, very nice. My last question for you guys is there anything you want to leave students that are listening to this episode with before you go?
Please do a committee. Do a board year. Do something outside of just going to the college and studying the traditional way. It's worth it. It's really worth it. It's very important, and you really challenge yourself, and it's really fun. It's fun as well.
Yeah, it is really fun, and I think we also already noticed it when starting HyDriven that we have experiencing committees, and you will also notice it when you will start working, because in committees and in board years and everything else that you can do around your studies, you just develop your social skills and your soft skills, which are so important.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. Just as a small summary before we go, for the listeners of this episode, so your recruitment period is between February and May, and after May, the interviews begin, right?
Right.
And you have the reveal of your hydrogen car on May 13 at?
Yes. At Wilming Theater.
Wilming Theater.
Yes.
It's in the city.
In the city
It's in the
center.
center of Enschede.
And maybe one event that's also important, really important for us,
Definitely.
is the technology drinks at the 25th of March. And that is a networking event where almost all of our partners will be present, and students can look for job opportunities, internships,
That's really cool.
and just talk to our partners and see what they mean a lot to us, but maybe they can also do something for you.
Thank you guys so
And
much.
that is at the Horst, by the way.
At the Horst.
So
No,
it's not at the
No?
Horst?
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, it's not sure yet.
Location to
Ooh.
be up.
Location to
is,
be determined.
To be determined. Right. Okay.
Okay, nice.
We hope it can be somewhere.
Well, thank you guys so much for this. I really enjoyed myself, and I hope you did too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
very
guys
fun.
for coming to our podcast.
Thank
Okay.
you for inviting us.
Yeah.